Hey everybody, it's Rima and today we are back for another video. I'm so excited to talk about this one. So just for context, I am approaching the last few months of being in my 20s. So, I really want to do a video about lessons and things that I learned in my 20s. But before I do that, I kind of want to take it even a step further back and focus on things I wish I knew as a teenager. I feel like there's so many things that I've learned throughout the years and so many things that I wish I knew maybe a little bit earlier, but I'm very grateful for my experiences always. Everything has culminated and got me to where I am today, so extremely grateful. But today I just want to talk about a few tips that I have for teenagers and things that I wish all teenagers, all teenage women, young girls could know. So let's jump into it. So these are my 5 tips I have for younger women and for teenage girls. And if you see me looking down, it's because I wrote this in my journal a few days ago. The number one tip that I really want women of all ages to embody and to feel and to know, especially young girls, knowing that outside factors don't determine your self-worth, and just knowing and feeling and embodying that you're worthy just because you exist. So this one is just all about self-worth. I mean, I can only imagine, the age group that I'm in, we had social media, we had Facebook in high school, and we had MySpace a little bit before that. But then I also experienced a good amount of my childhood without social media. So I've had both sides of it. But I know today, a lot of teenagers and young women, they have access to social media basically forever since they're born. And I can only imagine just how easy it could be to compare yourself to other people and, unrealistic beauty standards. Even some people today that have been trendsetters of those beauty standards, a lot of people are coming out saying, I regret some of the choices I made, I regret some of my surgeries, etc. So I feel like today is probably 20 times harder, or it can be 20 times harder to really see yourself and love yourself and embody your self-worth on the deepest level that you can, versus someone who maybe is 40 or 45 and they didn't grow up comparing themselves every day and seeing. I literally watched a YouTube recently of someone who is closer to that age, and that's exactly what they said. They didn't have to deal with comparing themselves every day to someone on social media, and they just really know who they are and they know of themselves. So my number one tip would be, maybe if you need it, delete the social media. Know you're worthy always. Say affirmations to yourself daily in the mirror. Say, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy, I love myself. Say it like a crazy person. And then boom, fast forward, a few months later or however long it takes, you'll truly start to see and feel a shift within yourself and really start to embody that. So just know you're worthy, know you're beautiful, know that you are worthy of very healthy, beautiful love from family members, from relationships, from everyone. But first, you have to give that love to yourself and treat yourself within the highest respect and the highest honor if you want other people around you to treat you like that. So just know that you are it. Love yourself, embody the self-worth, do the work. And it's okay to have down days sometimes, but do the work. Say the affirmations, journal about it, do whatever you need to do to feel like your best self. So that's tip number 1. And then tip number 2 is, so this one is around building a healthy relationship with your womb. And we know that when you're a teenager, you go through puberty and you start your menstrual cycle, etc. And sometimes, especially in Western culture, you don't really hear too much talk around this. I mean, you learn it in school, which is super basic and surface level. And then you learn it in your house a little bit, but holistically and like through society, it kind of has this weird stigma around it. It's like, even when you're in Target, you know, getting what you need is like, oh, let me hide it under my clothes sometimes. And this is not for everyone. This is just for some people. Or, you know, when it's your time of the month, it's like, oh my gosh, like I hate it. I'm so miserable. And it's just like a very negative feeling around it sometimes, not all the time. And I feel like it's so weird because this is one of the markers of embracing your femininity. This is a marker of your fertility, which is how humans enter this world, which is huge. I feel like this is something that should be celebrated. If you never celebrated, you know, your first time getting one, or your family didn't really celebrate it, you have an opportunity to celebrate it for yourself, because this is something that, you know, just deserves to be respected and held with honor. And you should respect how your body feels during that time. You know, I know society, you might have to go to school every day. If you're in college, you still have classes, or, you know, if you do sports, and it's kind of like same routine every day. And yes, while it's easier for boys to do the same routine every day, women, we're on a monthly cycle, and we flow in a monthly cycle. And our hormones, throughout the month, sometimes throughout the month we have lower energy, sometimes throughout the month we have higher energy. And it's really just important to honor how we feel, and sometimes say, okay, well, today I'm just going to be low energy. I'm giving it 10% of myself, and everyone else will be okay with that. So honor your womb, honor your cycle. If you are, and of course I'm not a doctor, but if you're having issues and like they're very painful, there are ways and things that you can do that are holistic that can help with that. You know, really, your womb is really a marker for people with wombs, it's a marker of your health. So if you're cramps and everything are just like so painful and you can't move and get out of bed, that's a marker that, you know, maybe there's nutrients that you're missing, or maybe something else is out of alignment. I don't know. But once you work on that, it has the opportunity to be something where it's not super painful every time of the month. And I'll speak for myself. Mine is not super painful anymore after I've done work on really just getting my health and nutrition more in order. So honor your womb. It's an amazing sign that you can, you know, bring life into this world, even if that's not what you want. The fact that you have that every month, showing that you're capable of that, is amazing. Honor it. Really build a healthy relationship with it. It's not something that's gross and annoying. So number 3 is follow your path and do what you want to do. So this one is all about becoming an individual and learning what you love, not what everyone on TikTok loves, not what your family wants you to do, not what your neighbor or your best friend loves. It's just about really finding your path. And sometimes you might have to unplug a little bit to find your path, because today it is so noisy everywhere and everyone's super plugged in. But this is just about like experimenting and finding your identity. And the beautiful thing about your identity is that it can change. It probably will change when you're 21 versus when you're 30 versus when you're 40. You will have multiple identities and you can wear different hats, which is the thing I love about it. But just make sure that whatever identity you're wearing is true to you, and not, you know, I'm just only getting this major that I know I secretly hate because this is what my parents want me to go to college for. And of course, those things are nuanced because you still want to be smart, but just tapping into, you know, things that you truly love to do and being okay if other people, you know, have an issue with it. That's their issue, not yours. You don't have to worry about how they feel, especially if they're adults. If they're adults, they're grown enough to figure out their emotions, and that's not your problem. So do what you love, forget how other people feel. That's it, period. And number 4 is get a mentor you trust. So this could be a mentor in person, someone that you know, like in the flesh. This could also be, you know, with this digital age, someone you follow on Instagram or YouTube or on TikTok, and someone that you just really like admire their lifestyle and you want to listen and gain wisdom from them. But life isn't meant to be done alone. And when you really look at how humans have functioned throughout the past, however many millions of years, mentorship it's a part of our DNA, whether that was our grandparents, our grandmothers, whether that was someone else within our community. It's just a core part of being a human, and this is regardless of, you know, how you identify. But getting a mentor that you trust is just, it will make things so much more easy. And these people, especially if they're a little bit older, they've been through it already. They have the wisdom, they've done the lessons. Maybe they did something and they've been through something really hard, and they can teach you so that you don't have to go through the same struggles. You know, that could save you 10 years of a lesson potentially, you know? So really just finding mentors and listening to your heart when you're finding mentors, you know, not really so much thinking as much with your mind, but like let your heart lead the way. Like, how do you feel when you listen to this person? How do you feel when you're around them? You know, it can make sense on paper, but also make sure that it makes sense with your heart as well. So that is number 4. And number 5 is really around health and moderation. So I wrote down your body is a garden, because it is. And when you are, this is almost more for like college students, but you know, when you're a teenager and you're in college, your mindset is, I can do anything, almost like I'm invincible. And I think that when it comes to long-term health, it really does start at a young age. I am, like I said, I'm late 20s, and I mean, this age is a perfect example. So there's people in their late 20s who are so healthy. They're the healthiest they've ever been in their life, and they're only going to continue getting healthier and healthier as they enter their 30s. And then there's also people who are on the other extreme of that, where they're having so many issues already. You know, they might look crazy, they might look 10 years older, and they just feel terrible. And then of course there's people within the middle, because those are 2 extremes, and then there's a bunch of people that fall in the middle. But a lot of that does start, you know, at the age that you're at now. A lot of it starts at birth, and then it just continues, you know, like snowballing and snowballing and snowballing. So do what you can do now to just think about, okay, if I want to feel good long term, let me not go too crazy. Of course, have fun when you want to, but just, you know, think about your health long term. Think about nutrition. Think about doing things in moderation, and feeling good in your body truly just does start now. So those are the 5 things that I wrote down. Let me think if anything else comes to my mind around what things that I wish I knew when I was a teenager, or just general tips that I have for teenagers. I think something else that's coming up is, and this is also around your body as a garden. So just know that your time and your energy is sacred. So be very mindful of the people you surround yourself with, whether that's friends, whether that's relationships, and like boyfriends, girlfriends, etc. Just be mindful about who you're like giving a lot of attention and a lot of energy, and how like intimate you are with certain people, because the way the energetic field works is that those things can become cords or like hooks, or people can almost like leech on you and drain your energy. And a lot of people aren't even worthy of, not only are they not worthy of doing that, they're not even really worthy of having a relationship with you at all. So that's something that's coming to mind. I feel like, this is YouTube, so I'm not being as raw as I would within my course, which, I didn't release yet. But if you're interested in staying updated, definitely sign up for the newsletter for my community in the link below, and make sure you hit subscribe. But yes, just be very mindful of the relationships that you have, and know that you get to choose who you have in your life, whether someone's family, friends, like romantic relationships. You can set those boundaries. And I've also created a video around energetic boundaries that I'll link below as well, because that's real. Like, you don't need people, plugging into you and taking your goodness and your light when they're not even really worthy of having your phone number. So that is the last thing that comes to mind. And thank you for watching the video, and I hope you have a good day.